Hello. I thought I would go through process of creating an app using vibe coding just to show people who have never done any vibe coding to see how it could be done, and actually a specific use case here. This would give you an idea of what the process is and what's involved and how it all works, and then the end result that comes out on the other side here. What happened was I had a project that I needed to work on, and the project involved, let's see if I can pull up some of this stuff here. The project basically involved a website for a company that does landscaping. And one of the things they wanted to be able to do is they wanted to be able to implement before and after pictures. For example, they have a picture that looks like this. Let me bring it over here so you can see it right there. This is the picture before the landscaping project was done by this company. And then if we look at the final here, it looks something like this. So it's the same thing, except it looked like this, and then they worked on it, and then it turned into something that looks like this. Obviously much, much nicer in many respects, new deck, everything. So one possibility would be to do the usual, here's before, here's after, but I thought it would be nice if we did something a little bit nicer. And so to do that, I thought it'd be nice to do an animation that kind of starts from before and then moves into what it becomes after. In this particular case, I used Midjourney because it's a very potent tool in terms of creating graphics, and you can actually put in first frame, last frame. You can use any software that allows you to indicate the first and last frames, and then it's going to create an animation between them in different ways. I use Midjourney not because it's the best from that standpoint. It's just something that does this, and I have it, and one of those, why not? Some things it created I like, some things it created I didn't like, but the bottom line was that it was done. And then I wound up getting something like this. Let me show you the video here. And so this is one of them. So it starts out like that, and then it changes, and then it goes to that. The problem with this kind of approach here, play it one more time here, is that you don't really see the before and after easily. In other words, you see the after, and it kind of stopped in this case. In other cases, it didn't even stop there, and it just goes, it's done. It goes right back to the beginning. So the viewer cannot really see, I mean, they can see, but they can't register. It's the same reason why people in movies do slow motion. It's because the brain just can't process stuff at that speed, so they need to slow it down to really emphasize that particular part of the movie. And it's the same thing here. It would be nice to be able to slow down a little bit in the beginning and then in the end, but the animation software doesn't care. What I thought I could do is, once all of this was created, I thought what would be really cool is to actually take this animation, take the first frame, play it for a few seconds, and then play the rest of the animation in terms of the actual transformation, and then at the very end stop again for a few seconds, maybe like 5 seconds. And I thought this would be great. Are there any tools that allow you to do that? Not that I know of. There may be some. It's not like I know everything, but at the same time, from the universe that I'm circling in, I didn't know something that allows you to do something like that easily. And the easily is the key point for me. I want it to be easy. I don't want it to be complicated. Okay, so people say you need to go here and you click there, and then you type this in, and then you click here. And no. I want something I click or a couple of times and it's done. That's basically what I want. So this is where vibe coding comes in, where if you have some sort of a need, like I have a need right now, but something that can be done relatively easily and something that doesn't take a long time to run and very easy to use, then that's a perfect tool for using vibe coding, because you can create vibe coded apps very quickly, and at the same time, obviously they would be functionally useful. So this was my challenge here. I thought, okay, I'm gonna actually vibe code a little app, and I went to my friend Claude here, because I do a lot of coding in Claude, and that's mostly because it does such a great job. And I said, let's create a simple tool, preferably using vanilla HTML, JS, CSS. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. It just basically means regular web page with maybe JavaScript, which is a language it has built in the browser. So it's just basically normal tools you use to create web pages with, okay? And CSS controls the look. And I said use the vanilla HTML, JS, CSS combo to accept an MP4 video file perhaps use a specified time frame, like 5 seconds default, and then it would recreate the video by taking the first frame for a specified number of seconds, then the rest of the video, and then taking the last frame and showing it for the same number of seconds, and then saving it to a file with the same name and suffix like -bat. So my video.mp4 becomes my video.bat.mp4. So some of the stuff like here, when I'm actually showing an example, is one of these Captain Obvious things. The reason I'm indicating all this information here is to make it easier for AI to understand the context of what we're trying to accomplish. And so what you want to do is you want to create a prompt that would be descriptive so it understands, but at the same time, not something that takes 2 days to write. The idea is to write something decent enough, but at the same time short, if possible. Once I gave it this prompt, it told me what it is and goes through the motions and trying to figure out. It says, okay, done. And so you can see that it took, I guess it doesn't show the time, basically it took like a few minutes to generate this. It says the tool will let you upload MP4 video, which is what I wanted to do. Set frame duration, default will be 5 seconds, perfect. Process it, captures first frame, records the original, first, original, last, for the same amount of time, and then download it with the -bat extension. Beautiful. Okay, so it says one caveat, browsers can only output WebM, because remember I asked it at the beginning here to output MP4, but it says they easily output WebM format, which is not MP4. So it says the file will be saved as your file -bat.webm. If you need MP4, you can convert it using FFmpeg and so on. So now we're getting into more complicated territory. It's not that complicated. If you wanted to do it, if you do similar project, you can do it, and you can actually have everything done in one tool. But as in my other video, I was showcasing the Video Paw app from Sysdem. It allows you to take a bunch of files and convert them easily from one format to another. I have something I can use for conversion, so it's not that big of a deal to me to basically make things more complex. Okay? And then when you actually run stuff, sometimes it'll come up with problems. Look over here, I downloaded, tried running, it says I tried running it in the artifact, meaning you can actually run it inside Claude itself and see what it looks like and how it works. But when I clicked process video, it showed error, undefined, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So it says, okay, it diagnosed the problem. It says, let me fix it. You're just basically telling it if there is a problem, what kind of problem it is. Maybe you take a screenshot, show it to it, or you just copy text, and then it's going to go and try to fix it. You're not fixing the errors, it's fixing the errors. Okay, so it says, fix several issues, better error handling, codec fallback, all this other stuff. Okay, great. So then it says the artifact sandbox may have restrictions that prevent video processing. If it still fails, try so on. So basically it's trying to just actually run it yourself, just the file it generates. Don't run it within Claude itself, which is fine, I don't have any problem. So I downloaded it and ran it, and then when I ran it, it looked something like this. It actually came up with this kind of screen, and then it showed this image on the bottom left here, which is the final frame, which I thought was weird. It just doesn't look good. I wanted this part to be there, and even if it shows a little bit of video, even though I didn't ask, that's fine, but I just don't want this other stuff. I said, worked perfectly when I tried downloading. The only question is the display. It says, I'm assuming you're showing end frame at the bottom, which is okay, except it's really not needed, so on and so forth. Anyway, I got a little philosophical. So then it went ahead, made its changes, and it says, done, updated. Now the title will be this, so on. Here's the new one. Gives you a chance to download the new code right there. It's a single file. And then I went into some stuff. I said, let's add PCS website to it and so on and so forth, so it can actually do it. So all the other stuff was kind of extra that I wanted to do, but I just wanted to show you that you basically, what they call iterate. You say do this, then you try and say, okay, what about this? Let's change PCS to say productive computer systems, and let's change the link to be to my website, and let's change. So you kind of go through as you're working on the app, different thoughts come into mind. Well, once you actually look at it and see it, and it's pretty cool. And one of the things I did, I went to PCSFX and I used the logo generation option from PCSFX, because obviously I have access since it's my app, to generate some cool looking logos, and I decided to use this one as the end result. Kind of a cool looking, I called it BAT, which stands for before and after tool, because it's just a little tool, that's all it is. Stick it to the top left corner so it looks like an official app. And that was it. That was basically the end of it. If we go now and try to actually run it, which would be somewhere in here, my projects, and we go to mini apps, and we go to before and after, it looks like this, okay? And so over here I can take basically any of these files. Let's say we take this Milligan pool transformation, for example. Okay, so I take this file, so that's an MP4, and that's the one that already was generated using from beginning to end type animation. That's why it says transformation on it. And I open it up, and it goes ahead and loads it. And we'll do 5 seconds, it's fine, but you can see we can change it to whatever we want, and just say process video. And what it's going to do is going to go ahead and process this video. And I'm not going to go through the motions of converting it to MP4, which would be my end result, because you understand how that part works. But if I go to pull it up here and just run it, you can see it starts at this point, and then it sits there for a while, so you really can, get a feel for it. Then it goes ahead and does the animation part, so you can see the new one. Then it sits there for 5 seconds, and then it's done. Okay, so the idea is, again, that it starts out by sitting in the original frame, and then it's going to start moving, and once you register the original, what it looked like before, then it goes and migrates into what it looks like now, and then it sits there for a while, so you can register that as well, and then it goes back. So that's basically the process. That's what I wanted to do. That's exactly what it does. If we use a different file, let's choose, perhaps it would be a good one, maybe this one. It doesn't really matter. And then let's see, we'll do 4 seconds, so it doesn't take as long. So we're processing that video. And as you can see, the process is not instantaneous, but it's fast enough. It's pretty quick. Definitely it's not too long. And so it generates that. We go ahead and crank it up. And this is what it looks like. Starts out like this. Obviously, these are not super high-res photos, unfortunately, but you get the idea, and then it morphs into that, and you sit like that, and that's it. So the only other thing I did was, once I got done, and I saw that it's working just exactly how I wanted it to work, then I thought, okay, I have 9 files I need to deal with. Do I really want to click 9 times? That goes back to my being lazy. And the answer was no. So I told it again to go ahead and change it, so I can actually put in not just one file, but as many files as I want. And so the way it works now, just to show you an example, and if we take these and choose these files here, like that, selecting all of them, then what's going to happen is it's got all 9 files in there. And let's do the 5 second again. And I'm going to say process videos. Now it's going to say 1 of 9. Recording first frame, hold, then recording original video, and it's going to do recording last frame. So now it's going to do this for all 9 files and generate for me 9 different output files in basically this one click, process video. And as it's generating these things, when it generates multiple files, every time browser starts acting up saying, are you sure you want to allow that many files? You just basically click on allow. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to make it allow permanently. So they're just trying to protect you so people don't download a bunch of files on your computer without you knowing about it. That's why they do it. But that's okay. It's just security precaution. So you just tell it allow, and then it's going to go ahead. You can see one at a time, process all 9, and then I have all these 9 videos available. So that's an example of actually creating some kind of a program without writing a single line of code. As you can see, I didn't type anything. I didn't do anything. I just kind of told it what I wanted done. I have these particular files. I explained to them what I want this thing to do. I want to create the beginning. I want to create the end. I want to put it together. I want to save it in a different name. All these different things. And basically, I told it what I'm trying to accomplish. It built this nice looking deal. Then I wanted to add a logo, so I added that. So just to show you that you can do more than just take whatever it's giving you, and you can iterate and add additional features, capabilities, things like that. And that's it. So now, am I going to use this tool for anything else? Unlikely. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But in this particular project I'm working on, it's perfect. It took me just a few minutes to code it, much, much faster than if I had to go in and use some kind of video editing program to grab the first frame and then make sure the thing lasts for 5 seconds, and then grab the last frame, make sure, and then save it. All that stuff obviously is doable, but it would take much longer than for me to just wipe code this tool, have it out there working properly, and that's it. If I ever need to use it again, it's there. If I don't need to use it again, it took me whatever 10 minutes to generate it, who cares? Okay, so that's where vibe coding comes in, super helpful, that even for people who don't know how to program, you can create something useful and something usable that you can run directly in your browser. You don't need to have any special hosting or anything. If you look at the URL, it's actually running from my Google Drive, but I can easily run it from my hard disk here on my computer locally. One more thing I'll mention is that if you do want a copy of BAT for your own use, I'll be happy to send it to you. It's a single file if you don't use my logo. And with the logo, it's 2 files. And you can install it on your computer anywhere you want, and then just bookmark it, and you can use it anytime you wish. So if you'd like a copy, let me know, and I'll be happy to send it off. That said, thank you very much, as always. Until next time, I'm Oleg.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.